Hello, in this video I'm going to talk to you about my 2021 calendar. But don't worry, this isn't a sales pitch. The idea behind this video is to inspire you to create your own calendar so you can celebrate your photography. So this is my 2021 calendar and I'm really happy with it. In fact, I've actually got 2 copies of this calendar, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do with the second copy towards the end of this video, so do stick around. Now, so why did I create my own calendar? Well, quite simply, it's something I wanted to do for a while and I thought it would be a great way to take some of my favourite images, put them on display. I mean, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how keen I am on printing. And so I thought if I did a calendar, I can display some of my favourite photographs every month for a year. So I thought, it can't be that difficult. So in this video, I will talk you through the process of how I went about creating this calendar, the service that I used, how I formatted the layout and the images. So I really hope it will inspire you to see you can create your own calendar just for personal use like I have. I haven't ordered 100 copies of this calendar to try and sell to you all. I've done it for me, for my own personal project. And I think by displaying your work, you can take a lot of encouragement from your work. You can see how you've progressed as a photographer, all the benefits you get from printing your work. And I think if you see how easy it is to create your own calendar, hopefully you'll be inspired to do exactly that. The service I've used to create my calendar is Saal Digital. Now, I first used their service a good few months ago when I created my first photo book with them. It was a big collection of all the photographs, all the landscape photographs I've created up until that point. Now, if you want to see how I got on with that book creation process and what the final product looked like, I'll include a link for that up in the corner of the screen and in the video description below. But I was really impressed with the quality of the product that I got from Saal Digital. So when I saw that they also did calendars, I thought it's a pretty safe bet to go to them to get my calendar printed. Now, as you'll see in a minute when we jump on the computer and I'll take you through the process of creating that calendar with Saal Digital software, you'll see that it's relatively easy. Actually, the difficult bit is actually selecting the pictures, which pictures you're going to include in your calendar. And I actually found that quite difficult. Not finding the pictures, finding my pictures is relatively easy. I'm quite good at tagging and cataloguing stuff in Lightroom. If you want to see how I do all that Lightroom catalog management, I'll also include a link for that in the corner of the screen and down below as well, so do check that out. But once I got those images selected, it really was quite a straightforward process of getting them laid out into the calendar. So why don't I show you how you do that? We'll jump on the computer, we'll fire up the software and we'll create a calendar. Right, let's make a start. We'll open up the Saal software and we'll start the creation of a calendar. So here we've got the Saal Design software opened up. I'm just going to select calendar, and I don't want a desk calendar, I want one of the ones that kind of hang off the wall, so I select that. Now I already know the size of the calendar that I want. There's plenty of options there. I want a 20 by 30, and I'm also going to select the art paper option. I want my calendar to have a certain sense of luxury. I want it to have a really nice paper to make the most of my images. So select 20 by 30 there. I've already got art print selected, and I want the writable to style of calendar item. I'm going to click on design. So I'm presented with some of the default options for layout and color of my calendar, but I'm going to make some customizations of those, particularly around the use of colors. Now I've got a number of colors that I use in my logo, and I'm going to use those as the colors for some of the text items. So I'm going to change the default text color first of all. So I click on that box there, select color selection, and I'm presented with my color picker. Now if I quickly switch over to my web browser, so the web page we're looking at the moment is colors.adobe.com, and in there I can store all sorts of color information and themes. And I've got a theme already stored in there that has all the colors in my logo. So if I ever want to do select a color to represent any of the colors in my logo, I've got all the codes there ready to cut and paste into the relevant application. So the first one I want to do here is this green one. So I'm just going to click and copy, and that copies the code. I switch back to the Saal software. I can paste that in there, and I've got exactly the right color. So that's my text color set. I'm going to have a slightly different color for Sundays. I've already got a lot of the colors from my own palette there already loaded into the software, so I'm going to shortcut these next couple of steps. Select the brown. I want the background to be the gray color from my logo, like that. One of the other options, I'm not going to bother with any holiday information, so I'm just going to untick that box. And click on next. And then I'm presented with my blank calendar, and it's just a matter of putting the images in there and some text to suit whatever I want my calendar to look like. So if I go to the first page, which is obviously January, I'll select the image for January, which is this one here of Stop Derg in Glencoe, drag that on, and then I can just position it to how I see fit, scale it up, like that, and then I can click on Center Justify, make sure that's in the middle. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to also put my logo in just below the picture. Again, I can just scale that down quite a bit. Just going to zoom in a bit so I can get the position and size right. It should be there, it should be about right. I'm going to put some text in. So one thing I need to do is I want the text that I'm going to put in there to be part of the font that I use in my logo, which is a system font. It's not one of the ones that are built into Saal. So I just need to go into the menu options and allow the software to use system fonts. Click Show System Fonts. It's okay, apply. And now I can use my own fonts throughout the calendar. And I'm just going to position that like that. And zoom back out. And there we have January done. Pretty rough and ready, but it gives me the general format. So it's just really a matter of going through the other months, putting the pictures in and putting the text in. But there's quite a nifty way I can cut and paste elements from January into February, so I've got all the positioning exactly the same. So if I select this picture, copy it, go into February, click and paste, and it puts that image in exactly the same place as it was in January, so that gives you that consistency. All I have to do is select the other picture that I want to put in, and the other picture I want to put in at this point is this one of Trefo's head, so I can just drag it on top, and that does that. If I go back to January, I can select the logo, go to February, click paste, that puts it in the same place. I can select the text from January, that puts that in the same place. Just I can go in there and edit that, and then that's February done. And that's pretty well as difficult or as complex as it got. But actually picking the images is always the harder bit. Actually laying them out in this software is actually quite easy. So what I'll do now is I will load up the calendar that I have actually completed the design on. I'll just show you what it looks like in its final design in this software. So here I have my final calendar. I've done a cover page, which is just a selection of all the images that I've got in all the months. And if we just have a look through, you can see I've got all the text here. I've got a little bit of additional text for this one now. And we just go through and we can see all the pictures. I've had to do some small repositioning or resizing of these images because months like May have the days rolled over a number of week rows here. So that's reduced the amount of space that I could have for the image, but that's just a matter of resizing that image. And everything else looks pretty good. And then it's just a matter of adding it to the basket, ordering it, and waiting for your calendar to arrive. So here's my 2021 calendar. Now I will point out that I bought all these calendars with my own money, but let me share with you my thoughts. First of all, I think the print quality is excellent. I think picking that art paper was a really good choice. It's given the calendar quite a bit of weight. It feels like a quality product. I mean, not that I'm selling it, but it's still nice that if you're going to do something like this, you want to make the most of it and have as high a quality a finish as you possibly can. So each page is quite thick, it's got a nice bit of weight about it, and that fine art paper as well has a nice texture about it, and it looks really nice both to visually when you look at the photographs and to the touch as well. The actual print reproduction, if I have a look at some of the photographs, is really good as well. I didn't notice any difference between what I saw on the screen and what's actually come out as the final image. All the photographs look just how I intended them. They've got all saturation in the right places, plenty of contrast. The images look really nice, and I'm really going to be happy because when come 1st of January, when I get to hang this calendar on my wall, every month I'm going to be presented with an image, and it's going to remind me of the adventure that I had to go and capture that photograph and encourage me for that month to go out and capture similar images. And this is why I think It's really important, and I really want to inspire you to create something like this. Create a calendar. You can do it relatively quickly and easily, and then you can hang something on this wall and you can be reminded and inspired by your own photography. At the start of this video, you may remember that I mentioned that I got 2 copies of the calendar printed. Here's the second copy here. As you can see, it's still shrink wrapped and ready to be posted out. That's because I want to give it away to someone in my community, so someone like you that's watching this video now. You may remember a couple of months ago I actually did a video called Alone and Together, and one of the themes of that video was trying to establish a connection with someone in my community, someone who watches my videos, and I did that by giving away a print. So much in the same way as I did for Alone and Together, I want to give away this copy of the calendar. So if you want to have a chance of winning this calendar, all you have to do is just leave a comment below. Now it can be any type of comment. It can be a story, something happy, something sad, it could be a joke. I don't really mind. All you have to do is make sure you include #together somewhere in that comment. And then what I'll do is I'll just pick out my favourite, whichever one makes me the happiest or whichever one tells the best story. It doesn't really matter. I'll just pick my favourite and I'll contact you and I'll send you the calendar out. Okay, we're nearly done with this video. I do hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope it's given you a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of inspiration to do something creative with your photography, to celebrate your photography by creating something like a calendar. And I really hope you do leave me a comment below with the #together so you can get a chance of getting the second copy of my calendar here. But if you have enjoyed this video, please do consider hitting that like button, leaving me a comment, giving it a share, all that good stuff. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed already, please do also consider hitting that subscribe button. But until the next video, I'll see you then.